Namaste, welcome back to Suvi English channel. I have got an amazing story to share with you in today's video. The story that I am going to discuss today is a letter to God written by a Mexican writer G.L. Fuentes. This story is about farmers and the problems faced by them. And here we see all the struggles as well as the unbreakable spirit of a farmer called Lencho in this story. Lencho is the protagonist of our story who faces some problems in agriculture. We all must understand that agriculture is not an easy job compared to the other professions because there are many challenges in it, starting from cultivation to harvest and to marketing. At all the stages, farmers face many problems, many challenges. Sometimes they do not get timely rains, sometimes their crops are destroyed by heavy rains, and sometimes their crops are destroyed by they attacked by some diseases, and sometimes though they get good yield they do not get the market and they do not get the expected income. So these are the problems that farmers face not only in India, across the world. But despite all these challenges, farmers still continue to practice agriculture because they find joy and pride in serving the nation. So we all must be grateful to the farmers. And in the story, A Letter to God, the protagonist Lencho is a farmer who faces some problems in his life. And now let's get into the story and see what problems Lencho faces and how he overcomes all of them. Now let's begin the story. Lencho and his family lived in a small house at the top of a hill in a valley. From there they could see their farmlands. Lencho had grown some corns and kidney beans. He had some cornfields and kidney beans plantation. The cornfields and kidney beans plantation had grown up well, and in just couple of days they were ready for the harvest. But before that the cornfields needed to be watered once. So Lencho and his wife were waiting for the rains, and one day as they expected it began to rain and they all felt very happy. Lencho, his wife, his children, they all felt very happy that they would get good returns from the cornfields. When it was raining, Lencho was very happy and he just treated the raindrops as the coins falling from the sky. For him, the big raindrops were equivalent to 10 centavo coins and the small raindrops were equivalent to 5 centavo coins. Centavo means their currency, Mexican currency. Lencho was so happy and he went out in the rain to experience the joy and the happiness as he was going to be a successful farmer. Then it rained continuously for a long time, and suddenly a strong wind began to hit the cornfields and large hailstones started beating the cornfields. You know, hailstones means alikallu. Alikallu male antivalva adu. So the large hailstones started beating the crops, both kidney beans plantation and cornfields. As the heavy rains with hailstorms continued, the situation became worsened and the cornfields were completely destroyed due to this heavy rain. All the hard work, their hopes, their expectation, everything was gone after this disastrous rainfall. And at last, when it stopped raining, Lencho went out and stood in the middle of his cornfields and started crying. And he said to his children that they had to go hungry that year. This was totally unexpected, disastrous event in his life, and Lencho and his family needed some strength to digest this sorrowful event. Just imagine if we were in Lencho's situation, how would we feel and how would we face it? Sometimes farmers borrow money from banks and from some private money lenders, and they invest all the money in agriculture hoping for the good returns. But due to various factors, sometimes they do not get the expected income, the expected returns. So it becomes a very big burden on them. and it is very difficult for them to overcome that financial burden. And in this story, Lencho was disappointed, but he was not depressed. He got an idea. The idea was to ask for some compensation. Compensation from whom? He thought of asking compensation from whom? From government? No, from God itself. So he decided to ask for compensation from God, and he started writing a letter to God. And in the letter he writes, "Dear God, my cornfields were completely destroyed yesterday due to heavy rain, and I need 100 pesos." Peso means Mexican currency. 100 pesos to sow the seeds again. See, he wants to sow the seeds again, and he wants to grow the cornfield again, right? So he mentions in the letter that he needs 100 pesos for sowing the seeds, and he also says that I need the money to feed my family until the next crops come. So for the whole year, to maintain my family, I need money. So please help me. If you don't help me, my family and I will have to go hungry. So this is what he mentioned in the letter. And after writing this letter, he went to post office and he dropped the letter in the post box. And when the postman noticed this letter, this strange, completely strange letter, which was addressed to God, the true address was God, right? When he noticed this letter, he was very surprised, and he handed the letter over to the postmaster. The postmaster, when he read the letter, he was surprised to see the faith of an innocent farmer in God. And he understood the farmer's situation, and he wanted to do something to help him, because he did not want to disappoint him, because he had great faith in God. So the postmaster appealed to all the staff members to contribute something to give to the farmer, and they all collected 70 pesos. Lencho had no, asked for 100 pesos, but they all could collect 70 pesos, and the postmaster kept the money 70 pesos in the cover along with the letter, along with that reply letter. And after a week, Lencho went to the post office if there was any letter for him. He just asked if there was any letter for him, and the postman handed over his letter. And when Lencho opened the letter, he was unhappy with it, because there was only 70 pesos. He had demanded for 100 pesos compensation, but there was only 70 pesos. And when he noticed just 70 pesos in the letter, he suspected that the staff at the post office must have stolen the remaining 30 pesos. And he was very doubtful about the staff members, and he wrote a letter again to God. And in the letter he mentioned, I demanded for 100 pesos, but I received only 70 pesos. I suspect the staff members of this post office. Please do not send the remaining money through the post office, because the staff members are not trustworthy. So this is what he wrote in the letter, and the story ends here. But just imagine if the postmaster read that letter, how would he feel? The postmaster was very kind, he was very generous. He wanted to do something for that farmer, because he understood his situation, because his crops were destroyed, his family was undergoing some financial crisis. So the postmaster wanted to help him. See, sometimes though you are ready to help someone, people do not deserve it. Interestingly, in the story, Lencho had great faith in God, but he did not have trust on the people around him. So that's all about the story, A Letter to God. See you again in the next video. Thank you.